So today I will share the screen. So today I am going to discuss the programming process of Java programming. This is important for any programmer who is going to write a program for a specific purpose. So whenever a programmer is writing a program, he must consider all these things, basic things he has to consider. Without these basic features, we cannot write any program. So this is a topic which we are going to cover today. That is first step towards the Java programming, in which we will discuss several kind of things like comments which have been used specially for programming languages. As we see in the C++ also, we have a comments, but also in Java, we have comments also. Next, we are going to see the topic something like a API document. Now, what exactly API document is meant for? Next, we are going to cover a topic called as something like importing and including. What are the differences between include and import? Including is part of the C++ code, as well as importing is part of the Java programming. One second, there is a technical problem. Okay, let me share this once again. Okay, right. So as I told you, today is an important class regarding the programming aspects. So first we will see what are the different types of comments which are available as part of the Java programming language. So there are three types of comments which are used in Java programming language. When you compare it with C or C++ language, there are single line comments which are already available in C language as well as C++ also. There is a multi-line comment which are available in C++, but there is one more comment which has been introduced in Java, especially for the documentation. These are the comments which are used for, these are the symbols which is used for creating a documentation. Now, what exactly a documentation we will be seeing in the API document. So first, let us understand what happens with the single line comment and what happens with the multi-line comment and what happens with the Java documentation. So first of all, let us see what is single line comment. A single line comment which is used for describing a single line. That is, you have to describe anything in a programming language. It will be described by using a double forward slash. Okay. These comments are for making the single line comment as a comment. These comments starts with the double forward slashes. After this, whatever you have written beside this forward slash, let me show you one more thing here. Let me show you this document here. After typing this one, and if you write anything here, it will not be processed by the compiler. It will not be compiled by the compiler, as we know in the C and C++ also. This is called as a single line comment. Now let us go for the second aspect, that is multi-line comments. These are the comment lines where you can include more than one line as a comment. It is a brief description about what you are going to do. So for that, you have to press forward slash followed by this one. Hello. This is my first program. Are you able to view this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So this is what the multi-line comment means. That is, you can write more than one line for a description of the program. So when you use the single line comment, you are restricted with one line. Only one line can be not regarded as part of the compilation. But here, when you write more number of lines, so these lines which are under the control of these two comment lines, they will not be processed. And they are helpful in understanding the program better way. So what exactly this, the third one, that is when we are coming to this Java documentation, this is a special purpose command lines which are designed for the user perspective. Who are the users now? So now if you are a programmer, you are writing a program, so you are describing the program, it should be part of the documented form. Whenever you are developing an application using a Java program, which includes several aspects like coding, like other manuals, you are supposed to submit the manual or the documentation to the user so that he can proceed with the application. So for that purpose, these are the lines which are supposed to be used. These are the special symbols supposed to be used for the documentation. Okay. In continuation with Java documentation comments, we have an important topic that is called as API document. All of you be careful and try to understand this one because it is an important thing. API document. So what exactly it is meant for? When a Java has been developed, Java software has been developed, the Java soft people, who are the Java soft people? The developers of Java are called as Java soft people. So these people gave one kind of HTML document which contains the details of how you are supposed to use your software, that is Java software, how you are dealing with the software, all the things related to the usage of that software are described in this HTML file in the form of API document. As we know, .html file can be browsed on web browsers, yes or no? Most of the HTML files will be browsed under web browsers like Google Chrome or Internet Explorer. So it is a, what we can say, it is available over the internet. It can be accessed easily. So what exactly this HTML file will contain? As I told you, it contains the details of how you are going to utilize the Java software in the perspective of programming. So this API document is a HTML file that contains description of all the features of a software, a product, or a technology which is supposed to be used by the programmer when he is writing a code for the application. Next, API document is helpful for the user to understand how to use the software or the technology. Okay, there is a mistake, technology. So this is about API document. I will show you the API document in the coming classes. When you are writing a programs, you can see what exactly it contains. So I will give a brief about it. That is, it contains the details of the classes, methods, interfaces, packages, whatever you are supposed to use in your programming, they are part of this API document. It is one kind of a library, and we can say it is one kind of a documentation. When you buy a new, let us say, I will give an example. When you buy a new phone, it will be greeted with some kind of a manual paper in it. So you will be containing the details how to use it. Similarly, this is one kind of a document which is available for using the Java in terms of programming, which is supposed to be accessed by the programmer. So this is about API document. Let us continue with the next aspect, that is what exactly or how exactly a program should be written. Before I discuss this importing classes topic, let me tell you what happens with the C and C++. Let me discuss the scenario which will happen in C and C++. So whenever you want to write any C program, first line you should be writing something like this. I think anyone can tell this, that is include. After this, what I can write here in C language, hash include, what should be followed by stdio dot h. So this is what the first statement, which is called as a pre-processor statement, which is available in C language. So this line is included in your program for proper execution of your code. If you don't write this line, what will happen? It will tell you, the compiler or C compiler will tell you that libraries are missing or header file is missing. So what do you mean by this? Whenever you include stdio.h as part of C language, it means that you are going to use the features of this header file in your program. Let us say that I am writing some program. Something like this. Yeah, I am not following exact scenario. This is for a sample purpose only. I think it is something A here, or ampersand A. Sorry, A. That's it. So this is one sort of a program where you are going to use a feature called as the printf, which is part of this header file. If you are not going to include this header file in your program, this printf statement will not be executed, and it will say that header file is missing or the library function is missing. So similarly, in Java, whenever you are writing a program, the first statement should be something like this: import java.lang.system. You compare this one. You compare this with the hash include this is in C or C++ and this is in Java. Now what happens here is, whenever you write this statement in Java, you are going to use this class features in your program. This is a class. System is a class which is part of Java program. Now, as we discussed, it is an header file here. it is a class here, but where does this class come from? So where it is available? The system class is available in a package called java.lang package. You understand what I'm saying? That is, system class features we are going to use in our program. But where does it come from? The class, where does this class located? How can I locate this class? This class is located in a package or bundled in a package called java.lang package. And one more package which is basically used in Java is string. So, okay, these are the two classes, system and string. These are the two basic classes which are used by any program like stdio.h, which contains printf and scanf as part of C language, stdio.h. Similarly, system class contains print and println methods. I will discuss it later, don't worry. System is a basic class which is available in a package called, which package it contained in? System is a class which is available in which package? Anyone can answer this one?
Java.lang.
Okay, java.lang package which contains the classes called system and string. So whenever you are supposed to use the features of system class, you have to write this statement in that program. That is import java.lang.system. Whenever you are trying to use a string related methods or any features, then you write this statement in the first statement as your program starts. As we write hash include in C language. So this is what I want to say. That is, whenever you are writing a program, the first statement should be something like import java.lang.system. If you are going to use system related things, or else if you are going to use string related aspects or features, then you include this one in your programming as a first statement of the programming. So this is about the import. Now this is what we are saying here. Just now I told you what exactly the import is looking. Now Java library, it contains packages, classes, methods. Now what exactly classes and interfaces will contain? Classes or interfaces are same, that is classes. They are basically classes, that's it. Interfaces are also called as classes. Now methods are part of the classes. Now these classes are part of the packages. Now these packages are part of the library. So what happens here? Whenever you want to use any method in a particular class which is related to a package, you have to go to the Java library. So Java library contains the details of packages, classes and interfaces and methods which are going to be utilized by the programmer or a user who is called as a programmer. Next, we will be discussing important aspect, that is, let me write the first program. I think in the last class I discussed the sample program also. How many of you know about that program? Let me show you that program. So this is a first program which we have executed here. As I told you, there is no statement here, something like, is there any statement import there? Anyone can answer this. Is there any statement like import or available there in that program? You can write in the chat box also.
No, sir.
Okay. But we executed this program, yes or no? We executed this program without writing import java.lang package or java.lang.system or import java.lang.string. We didn't use such kind of a thing here, but we executed this program. Now, what is the reason behind it? What happens inside it? So the reason is that whenever your Java program has written without an import program, that is import java.lang, it means that this program is getting executed because of import java.lang package is by defaultly imported into your program. You understand what I'm saying? That means java.lang package is by defaultly available with this program. Now, how to know this? How can I show you that? So how to know whether this program contains java.lang package? So let me check this. Let us go under command prompt. It is under E drive. We'll type java p. See what happens here. I think demo.java is not available. Yes, it is available. Okay. See, as I told you that by defaultly java.lang package is available in your program, which is basically the sample program which we have written 2 days or 1 week back. That is, you see here compiled from demo.java class demo. Here you observe this java.lang.string. I didn't write import java.lang package as part of our program, but it is by defaultly added to your program. Okay. So this is a proof that by defaultly java.lang package is available with the program, whichever program has been written, not this program, any sort of a program, it is available basically. So this is what the first statement should be. That is, if you write or if you don't write, it is available. That is, so if you write it, no problem. If you don't write it also, no problem, because by defaultly it is available for us. So this is the first statement which is part of our program. Now what is the second statement which is available here? Class demo. Make sure that this class is a keyword. It is a keyword. Keyword means it should be written in small letters. It should not be in capitals. If you write C capital or L capital, any sort of a capital letters here, it will not be considered as a keyword there. It should be in small letters. So, and next thing, followed by a name of a class. What is this? Class keyword followed by name of a class. And next, as we know, for any programming, you have a flower brace, open flower brace to write the details of this class. Now, we are supposed to write the details of this class name called as a demo by opening its flower brace. Now, in which we have a main method here. So every program which is part of Java or C or C++, they may have at least one main method inside the program. Yes or no? Without main method, you cannot execute any program. Your compilation or any kind of an execution will not start unless main method is not available in your program. So here also we are writing a main method here. We call it as method, not a function here. Main method. So main is one basic method which is needed for your program execution. So we included that one. So you observe in C or C++, there are different types of signatures. Signatures have been used, prototypes have been used. Something like this one. Void main followed by something this. Next, int main. But we didn't give any kind of parameters inside this main method, yes or no? Arguments, as we say it as arguments. If we gave any arguments inside the main method, main function as part of C or C++? Anyone can answer this one. Do we have arguments kind of a concepts to the main method in C or C++? As part of functions. See here, it means this is a function main. It has return type. Main function will have a return type. That's it. Main function with the arguments, it is not seen by any program until now. As part of C or C++, until now you didn't practice this kind of a thing. Now in Java programming, you are able to see something like main method will contain arguments like this one. So arguments are of which type? Please try to answer this one. Arguments of which type? Which type of an arguments are going to be passed to the main method here? Please try to answer this one here.
String type. String type, sir.
String type of arguments, yes, obviously. So string type of arguments are passed to the main method. But what is happening here? It is not a normal variable here. Args, it is not a normal variable. Is it a single variable? It contains only one value. No, it is not a single valued variable. It is more than number of valued variable, that is called as array variable here. So what we are passing here for the main method, string type array variable. So try to understand this point. Every time a main method is written something like this, because whatever parameters, whatever inputs you are supposed to give to the program, they are in the form of strings. They are in the form of strings which are stored in an array called as args array. సో మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్ కి మీరు ఏవైతే ఇన్పుట్స్ ఇస్తున్నారో ఆ ఇన్పుట్స్ అన్ని ఈ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ అరేలో ఉంటాయి. Now you can understand, I think so. That is, whatever inputs have been given to the main function, those inputs have been stored in an array which is of type string. Now until up to this you have understood, I think so. That is string args. Main method which contains arguments list, that is string args. So what are these inputs which we are going to give to the main method? So you observe here this one. This is under double quotes. Under double quotes means what? Anyone can answer. If you write anything between double quotes, open and close double quotes, what we consider here? It is called as a string. It is called as a string. So this is an input which we pass as an argument to the main function. It means that whenever a compiler is going to call this main method, immediately it will check out the parameters or the arguments which are available in this variable. So this is a variable value which is available. This is a variable value which is available in this parameter. Okay, I think everyone understood this one. Can I proceed further, or else you want explanation? Try to respond, please. Because it's less than 2 minutes, I think so. Try to respond quickly. That is, main method receives arguments in the form of strings that will be stored as argument array. Now, one more important topic, that is, what is the difference between hash include and import? This is a basic question which will be arising in Java programming. See, students, you can join after the closing of this session also. Please join once again. Let me complete this topic. Okay. Let me continue this one. It means, what is the difference between include and import? Whenever you write a program in C language, it is less than 1 minute also. Students, try to answer the questions, please, because if you are not responding, if I keep on explaining the things, it will not be good for the interactive sessions like this. Please try to interact with me so that I can know